If it's Tuesday, that means it's time for Comic Book School Live, because you know what? We own Tuesdays. Today is Tuesday, October 11th, and we are just out of the event of the year, which is New York Comic Con 2022. And we are here to report a few things that we've learned, some action items that you can start to take right away, and a special report from our special correspondent. But before we get to that, I'd like to introduce my friend, my lover, my pal, Mike Fasolo. How are you, Mike? Three-time Emmy-award winner.
I'm doing well now that I know I'm your lover.
You are. We love each other. Wouldn't you say that we love each other?
I would say that, yes.
Yeah. So I think we are going to have a really interesting show tonight, Mike. I've got some photos from the event. You remember how much fun we just had at New York Comic Con?
I could not believe how great it was at the convention. It was awesome. I had so much fun.
And you were there?
Yeah. You didn't see? Yeah. We hung out at the pub thing, at the pub.
At the pub thing? Yeah. I don't think you were there. I don't think you came in from California.
I was there in spirit.
You were in spirit. Were you monitoring it actively on the social medias?
Oh, yes. I was all over it.
I met Kevin for the first time in my life, Mike. Kevin, who I wrangled from Twitter or something. And I had never met him before. And we met him. Actually, he brought the horse with him.
Nice. Very good.
You see the horse in the photo?
Is the horse PS41 or is that just all Kevin?
I don't know. I don't know. Kevin. No, it's Kevin Pay S41. I don't know what that is.
I think that's the horse's name.
This is Ari. What's up, guys? Well, we're doing a show, Ari. We're doing a show.
That's what we always do, because we own Tuesdays.
We have some news that includes Ari. We'll get to that in a little while. And I also met Christian Stout for the first time.
You must have had a good time meeting all these people.
I did. Christian was wearing that very bow tie, and that was it.
Just the bow tie.
And that was it. Maryam, look at Maryam. It's like Maryam is like calling in from inside the house.
The call's coming from inside the house.
Get out of the house! She's calling from inside the house. Vince was a big hit, Mike, even though he wasn't actually at the show.
What?
He made that motion graphic video that.
Oh yes, showed. I did see that.
And
at the show when I was at.
Yeah, there. And then we'll add a Vince link to that. A Vince link, Vlink, a Vlink. So that's it. I think that's the show.
All right, everybody. Good seeing you again. We own Tuesdays.
Oh, horse's name is LJ, and PS41 is my elementary school. Oh, there you go. Nice. That was almost my that was my second guess. That was my second guess. But Mike, we got a lot going on. Let me pull up the graphic again. This is our post-con recap part 1. What does part 1 suggest to you, Mike?
That there would be a part 2.
There is going to be a part 2 to 40. We're going to stretch this out for the whole rest of the year.
the rest of October, November, and December.
I want to note, though, Christian Stout showed up, and I met his biceps, which were like this. You can't see from the picture because he doesn't have his arms in the picture, but his arms were like this. And then he had to get home. He was like, I got to go. It's arm day. I'm like, me too.
Hey, if you got arms like that, there has to be an arm day.
There has to be an arm day. And I missed arm day today, which is what accounts for this. So, Mike, I gotta tell you, New York Comic Con 2022, amazing event. We got to meet a lot of people that we had never met in person. There are so many wonderful photos, and I'm gonna show a couple of them to you right now. And I want to show that one graphic that this is at the end of Creator Connection. That is the networking panel, and one of my favorite photos of the weekend. Everybody feeling giddy and happy with their thumbs up. What do you think?
I think it's good. Was there a lot of creator connections created?
There sure was. We also pumped laughing gas into the room, clearly, as you can see. Everybody was smiling and having a good time. And I didn't promote this at all. I didn't talk
What?
about this in every single panel and every conversation that I had, that I'm running a Kickstarter that people should check out. It would be unseemly for me to talk about this over and over again, because the Kickstarter is running right now, Mike. I wouldn't dream of using my show
No, don't promote
for
it.
that sort of thing. Kevin, oh, come with me if you want to lift.
You can get some arms.
I'm gonna get some arms. I'm like, I'll lift Oreos. There you go.
Butter butters.
Yeah, it's true. You missed meeting Christian. Kevin, that's because we met at the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pumping.
Doing the thing. So, Mike, I wouldn't, just like I said, I wouldn't use the show to cross promote Apocalypse Boulevard. But if people want to hold up their phones, I conveniently made. Do you want to hold up your phone and show how a QR code works, Mike? What you do?
How did you make that?
So I'm very skilled. It's so smart.
Is there a thing called
you go to Bitly
QR code?
Yeah, you can go to bit.ly. It's a URL shortener. So what I'm doing, what you do is you go and you hold your phone. There's a phone.
Got my phone.
Get your phone and you open up the camera app, and then the camera app will show that there is a URL. So if you hover your phone over it and then you click, and that will go directly to the Kickstarter that is running at this very moment. That I might just keep this up for the entire show.
You know what that did? That took me directly to the Kickstarter for Apocalypse Boulevard.
Which is this. I mean, what a coincidence. So I don't think that's why people showed up, Mike.
I think that probably is why, but the convention was like a background sort of thing.
That's right. That's right. NYCC threw a party for me to launch my Kickstarter. It does work, right, Vince? So you can use bit.ly. It's free. And then make a link shortener, and they'll make you can do what I just did. So what we're here for today, Mike, is we're going to talk a little bit one specific panel that we did during the event, and we're going to invite a special guest in who is our notes recorder, and we'll talk about the panel, what we learned, some key takeaways and action items for people who want to move up in the craft and business of making comics. What do you think of that, Mike?
I think it sounds like something that would be in part one of a multi-part series.
It will be. And just as a quick reminder, I'm running a Kickstarter for Apocalypse.
What's the name of this?
Apocalypse Boulevard.
Is this something you wrote?
It is something that I wrote that I'm kickstarting. But Mike, please give a warm comic book school welcome, and everybody in the audience too, we're counting on you. Comic book school welcome to our friend and colleague, Maryam Muhammad. Maryam, welcome to the show.
Maryam, yay. Welcome. Comic book school welcome.
That's it. It's like a...
Rah, I'm here. Hello, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Maryam, thank you for joining us. You pulled a tough role at the last day of the con. We're all half asleep, dragging, and then I asked you to be a live note taker. And you said yes.
I did say yes.
Thank you. Maryam, one of the reasons for that is because not only are you a comic book creator, hold on, the comments are flying in. Here, hold on. So Ruth, yay, Maryam, all caps. So she's literally shouting. And if it's Ruth, I could believe she's saying it with full enthusiasm.
Hi, Ruth.
And then Vince gave you a ta-da. And Ari gave you a lukewarm welcome. Like, hey, hi, Maryam. He didn't even put punctuation in.
Hey, thanks.
He's an English teacher. He's like, hi, Maryam. No comma, no period. Just, hi, Maryam.
Hi, English teacher.
So, Maryam, you did a great job. This was the panel that we had. It featured Darren Sanchez, who's been on our show many times, Marvel editor. We had Joe Illidge, who's the executive editor at Heavy Metal Magazine and a former editor at DC Comics and at Valiant Comics. Lisa Hawkins, who is currently at Valiant as I think senior editor, was actually my editor for a little while there at Marvel, and Nelson DeCastro, who has been, I think, in the business about 27 or 8 years as a freelancer and teaches at the School of Visual Arts about storytelling and branding. But I think the key thing was we got together and talked on this topic, editors on portfolios, pitching, and professionalism. And Maryam was on hand to take notes. So before we get started, Maryam, do you want to just give a quick summary of what we're about to look at?
Okay, I can do that. So we are going to look at the notes from the panel of pitching and professionalism. Each panelist discussed different topics on how to improve your professionalism when speaking about getting into the industry of comics, writing, and artistry, and what they think help individuals really sell to them and appeal to them.
That's perfect. And if you're just joining us, this is post-con recap part 1, because I see new bodies coming in. They're flowing in like the sea. They're coming in. And then like the sea, they'll go away.
They'll see where they are, and then they'll leave.
And then erode the beach. I have a few photos, but for context, this is Maryam. Literally, as we are doing the show, Maryam is taking notes furiously on Post-it paper with what was about 7 minutes of notice. I would have asked for a volunteer, but Maryam, I believe, was voluntold. Right, Maryam?
I was voluntold.
You were
I need a volunteer, you.
And one of the reasons for that is Maryam, number one, you were for many years a school teacher, so you are used to writing on the board and putting down notes. Number two, you are a professional marketer, hence able to distill big ideas into small, digestible information. And three, you're just awesome.
She has good handwriting.
Everybody loves Maryam. So, she was a shoo-in. So before we get started, I just want to show a couple quick photos from the event, if that's okay, guys.
Yeah, I guess.
Recap is recap.
You feel good about that? Okay.
We own Tuesdays, so you can do what you want.
We own Tuesdays. And even if we don't, no one's paying for this. So, all right. So let me present, share screen. We're going to go to a Chrome tab. This is a person. I'm going to just share this tweet. And it said, my last panel, I'm running on fumes, but stuck around for comic book school with Joe P. Illidge, Darren Sanchez, Lisa Hawkins, Nelson DeFaro, Buddy Scalera. I don't know what O/P means. What does that mean? What does OP means?
On point? I don't know.
OP? Like I'm Opie? So much experience and expertise and generosity in this room. And a great shot of the panelists from the left. We have Joe Illidge, which Lisa will talk about. He was the executor of Heavy Metal. Nelson DeCastro, who was the master of entertaining education. Mike, you know him to be very funny. I do as well. And he brought his best. Lisa Hawkins, who is I think, senior editor at Valiant, and Darren, actually, who's a freelance editor right now, but was my editor at Marvel. So that's what we'll be looking at. But some fun photos, just real quick, I'll blow through them to give you context. So this is Darren dropping knowledge right there. He's serious because he's 2 hands on the microphone.
Yeah.
Chris Burgos got up and talked a little bit about the anthology. I don't know if you could see, Chris is bigger than me in that photo. He's a giant man. And I'm entertained by this photo, but what I'm really entertained by is the lady who is literally in the front row about 1.5 feet from us, filming us. And there she is right there. She just zoomed in on Chris's yellow pants. And
she's trying to get your Stan Lee shirt.
She was trying to get my Stan Lee show. Oh, wait a minute. Original poster or original author of the post. Oh, thank you, Kevin. Ari got up and talked about the anthology. And there it is, still on the wall. People were clapping for that. Here's Lisa making a couple points, and you could see she's serious. She's got the microphone in one hand, and that finger is out. And if you're late, that's the same finger she used if you're late on a deadline. So everybody paid attention. This is us talking. I didn't get behind the dais, Mike. I wanted to stand because everybody else was sitting, so I was going to be a little taller than them.
That's right. You wanted everybody to see you.
literally the only person taller. We had people sketching. This guy came up right afterward and showed me this notebook, and he was like, "Oh, look at this notebook." But like, there's all kinds of people talking, and there's chaos, and we're breaking down, and then I guess he must have like been like, "Oh, Buddy's not interested." I'm like, "No, man, I'm totally interested." And then he was gone, and he did a great couple of live sketches. That's the only recording we have. So we're gonna put his face on a cereal box or a milk carton or something and see if we can get him to come back. This was
way to ignore him, bud.
This is a funny moment, Mike. This is actually pretty funny. So we say, "Do we have any questions?" And I intended that for them to come up. So we invite this person comes up, and she asks a question, and she's like, what if you have like anxieties and fear and I've literally pulled her to like within a foot of the stage in front of a large crowd of people so she can say I have anxiety, and then we all clap for her. We were like, way to push through it. It was pretty nice actually. Chris Burgos guns. Yes, Chris Burgos does have guns. He's got several guns. They were like, look at that. Look at those guns. That's like that's like the size of your thigh, Mike.
It's not like Christian Stout though.
No, Christian Stouts are shirt-rippingly large. That's why you can only wear a bow tie. That's it. Yeah. It's bow tie or nothing. Here's Maryam once again. This photo is not flipped, Mike. Maryam is actually writing with her left hand. She's righty, but to challenge herself during the live event, she wrote with her left hand. Isn't that right, Maryam? You're righty, but you switched to southpaw just to...
No. I'm really a left-handed person.
A challenge.
I'm really left-handed, but I'm right-handed on the computer.
And on punches, right?
Yeah,
on punches. On punches. Buddy has guns. I have guns. I have like water guns, and Nerf guns. I have a Nerf gun. That's about it. So where are we? Here are we. So that was Maryam, who's going to give us her readout. Nelson. Right, Maryam? I mean, he just had us laughing throughout the whole thing. Here's another one of Nelson emoting. Here's another one of Nelson. Like, you literally just couldn't keep up with him.
Stay serious in a professional panel.
But he did a great job of communicating what you need to do as a creator, which we're eventually going to get to. Vince says you're ambidextrous. And agrees. I'm like, I don't even know how that's spelled, right? Like, he was like, she's ambidextrous. I'm like, I hope that's how it's spelled.
Yeah, put it that way.
Well, Maryam, thank you for taking on the challenge. I'm glad that you're here to do the readout, which happens to be on the same night that we're talking about the Apocalypse Boulevard Kickstarter, in case
infomercial time.
If that Kickstarter doesn't go up in value, Nelson teaches at School of Visual Art. He also freelances for Marvel, DC, Image, freelance.
He should be a voiceover if he isn't already. He did really good voiceover.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great at everything. It's kind of annoying. He's so good at everything. All right, Maryam. So I have 4 graphics. I'm going to flash them up on the screen very briefly so people know what they're going to expect. And then you just tell me an overview, and then we can get into each slide. You pick which one you do first. So first one that we will be showing is Darren's. I know they're really hard to see, but because they're hard to see, I've already put them on the website. If you want to follow along, I'll show you where they are. This is Nelson's. Maryam, like, look at how many notes she got on there. I mean, she had to keep switching left hand to right hand in order to not cramp up, and that's Lisa's. Now, speaking of, just so people,
the day after,
just so people are aware,
right on the board anymore.
Where am I? Okay, we go to Comic Book School. Okay, so if you go to Comic Book School and you're watching the show now, you can actually go here. All the photographs that I just showed are here in this gallery, and you can see that you can click directly into the image and get a really big version. And actually, if you want to, you can download them. They're quite large. So actually, is this a better way to show it?
Yes.
That actually is a better way to show it, isn't it?
You're welcome.
You're welcome. So Maryam, do you want to start with someone in particular, or do you just want to start with your meta overview? What are your thoughts? How would you like to do it?
I think we can start with somebody in particular. That way I can look at the notes and just kind of share out.
All right, let's go back to that. I will open up the shared screen as I wander my big head around and try to find where the buttons are. For those of you who don't know what I'm doing, I have to find the right button. No, that's not it.
You just had it. What'd you click it off for?
Oh, shoot. Come on. Please stand by. All right, we're going to do it one more time. We're going to share screen. We're going to share a Chrome tab. Which Chrome tab? We're going to do this Chrome tab. All right, so once again, this is our recap. We've linked, if you want to find Maryam, there's a hyperlink to her website, a marketeer and artist, and Ariel, who did all of our photographs. This is Darren's. Maryam, you want to lead off with what you heard from Darren Sanchez?
Okay, so first we went over his background and his career. He started off in the Army in 1991 and as a helicopter pilot, and he had said he thinks he's the only one who has worked in the Army as a helicopter pilot who's transitioned into comic books. To get in, he started off as a production manager at Wizard, and from there grew into starting his own business, After Hour Press, and he's still pressing on. He interned as well at Violent and became the production manager for 6 years. He stayed there for 5 years. And then 12 years, he went on to another location. I skipped the name. I missed out on that. But he continued to network his way through. And he had mentioned that if you become unemployed, networking is the way. It's your friends that's going to get you back in. So keep that in mind. For portfolio, for the business side of it, he, like I said, created After Hour Press. He got some artists to do a contest and was able to utilize the script to lead into movie selling options. And he said to prove yourself by doing. So don't be like, oh, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. You actually complete it. From there, published or not, create your own digital portfolio. So make sure you have like a URL that has your different, projects on it available for people to see, whether you print it or not. Just make sure that you have a portfolio that you can leave somebody something with. He also mentioned that there are agents who have a website full of artists or writers that they go to. So make sure that, going back to the prove yourself by writing or doing, I should say, that those agents are really backing people. So in the event that you want to do something, really prove yourself so those agents can list you. Manage your personal brand, promote yourself, really invest in yourself, and, build your own network first by doing. That was like the biggest part that I heard when Darren was speaking, like really invest in yourself, pay for those prints and make your own comic yourself and really put yourself out there first. Start small and then grow into big. He also discussed when you want to get noticed, really draw backgrounds as well, not just the people or the imagery or the characters, really actually have a background. I know that wasn't my strength. I don't have background sometimes, so I definitely could relate to that. He also said when it comes to print media, digital is great. So you can reach an editor's email, but make sure you have the clearance to send over to the editor so that they'll actually look at it. And that's a big thing as well. And yeah, he said, his final thoughts were to collaborate. Introduce yourself and collaborate with other artists or writers, and then make sure that you help out Buddy's Kickstarter and pick
That's
up
right.
in XMO.
I think helping out Buddy's Kickstarter was the best advice of the day.
Yeah.
And that everybody should do that.
What's the Kickstarter for?
Kickstarter is for a little thing I'm doing called Apocalypse Boulevard. I'm not sure if we mentioned it or anything yet, Mike, but people can find it right here. This is what it looks like.
That looks interesting.
Yeah, there's the QR code. Yeah. Do you think your agents would like that, Mike?
I have a manager, and he might, but who can say?
Oh, who can say? Have you shown it to him?
I have not. I could.
Well, all right. Just saying.
It's your friends that get you in.
Again,
It is your friends.
I get 70%.
All right, so these are Lisa's notes. Tell us a little bit about Lisa's background. I'll zoom in again. I think that made it a little easier.
Yeah, that helps. Okay. So Lisa,
Hi,
she started off in 1995 with X-Men Unlimited, and she hired Buddy, friends that get you in. She said that she was knocking on the door, and they let her in an editorial, but that wasn't really what she wanted to do. She went on to DC. Her bat phone rung is the comment she made. I thought that was so cute and clever. And she started doing managerial and editorial for copywriting. She also was teaching comics to kids, but that wasn't what she wanted to do either. That she was on the upside, but wanted to be on the inside. So she interviewed with Joe, and then boom, she was in the inside. She got hired to go on the inside, and she ended up hiring a writer who did Birds of Prey.
That was Gail Simone. She hired Gail Simone on Birds of Prey. That was that got a big round of applause.
It did. So that's my smiley face. For do's and don'ts, for talent pool, she gave a lot of information, and I was really appreciative to hear all that she said. So for some of the do's, she said the more you know, talk to people, really become the buzz. So don't just like be the flower on the wall, really get people to know you and be a little more outgoing if you are kind of quiet and introverted. She said to build relationships, get on people's radar, and make your own comic, which is similar to what Darren had said, to make your own comic and put it in front of editors so they can see it. Attend different portfolio reviews, get advice from people so that you can get better at what you're doing, and be patient. Nothing happens overnight. That's a real good success. So really be patient with yourself, and in the timing of things, it'll come if you really work on it and stay consistent. And she said sometimes it's just dumb luck, that too. So continue to position yourself and really shine. She said something not to do is don't be late. Don't just kind of straggle in that finger. Don't be late. Be honest if things do come up, so that if you are going to be late, just be real forward about it and tell somebody, hey, I think she mentioned like, oh, my mom might be sick, or tell whoever you're working with that you might need another day or a few more hours so that they're aware. She said that if someone sneezes at DC, bells go off at Marvel. Oh no, Nelson.
No, hats blow off at Marvel. That it's the point is it's a very small industry. People think that comics is so big, but really the number of people working in comics is so small. That was Nelson's joke, which is if somebody sneezes at DC, hats blow off at Marvel. So everybody knows if you're late. If you are late, everybody knows.
So it's a reputation industry.
It's a reputation.
Got it. That's important. And I can attest to that in marketing as well, and design. It is like that. You won't get referrals if they're like, well, so keep that in mind too. When it comes to printing off your comic book, she was discussing, back in the old days that it's totally different. It used to be a more creative chaos. Now electronics makes it easier. However, she likes to have a printed book in her hand because she wants to look at the illustrations first and then decide if she wants to read it. So to each his own, but I think the print idea is good, with it being comic book and it's illustration heavy. So that's something.
And then she had a final thought, which I thought was good right here.
I'm looking at that. Final thought: mentoring parting words. If the reader could predict the end of the book, that's a crime. And if the reader can write a better ending, that's a sin. That was a quote from someone in particular, but I didn't get the name of the person. But don't plagiarize, or write so well, or write so predictable, I would say, that anybody can do that.
Right, Mike? People shouldn't be able to guess the ending, right?
No, absolutely not. That ruins the whole thing.
Yeah,
Approximately
so I can
what
guess
number
it
of
is.
artists and writers are in the comic biz across the board in the US? 5,000, 25,000, 1.93 million? I think it's 1.93 million.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. I mean,
Lydia.
easily. No, I don't think it's there's not that many actually people generally making the comics every day.
Except for you.
Well, except for me. I mean,
Apocalypse Boulevard. You wrote
Apocalypse
I mean,
Boulevard,
like in
which
mainstream, like
the-
mainstream picked up
yeah,
artists.
like mainstream, like how many people are there working in comics? All right, here we go. Let's keep it going. You got a rhythm going now. So then it was Nelson's turn to shine. And
Yes.
let's get to Nelson.
I can't do any funny voices like him, so don't get all
Don't
excited.
ever try to out Nelson. Just let him
It
go.
would be a little boring. He was really exciting to listen to, so I try my best to not laugh my way. Nelson worked at Marvel, DC, Dark Horse as a pencil and inker. He also teaches at the School of Visual Arts since 2008. And what I really like that he said is a lot of his students grow into being able to work at Marvel as well. So you're not just graduating, you're actually hireable, which is important. So that speaks volumes to the panel. He's an extremely successful artist himself, and he discussed preparing your portfolio when it comes more so as an artist. He said that editors don't know how much time you spent. That was the big thing. So make sure that you're not misleading. So if you took 8 days, be clear. If you took 8 months, be clear. And he thinks that you should have printed work. And everyone knows everyone in this industry. Going back to the other comment that he stated while on Lisa's page, the heads blow off thing is a relationship and kind of reputation industry. So beware of that. And don't start at Marvel, work your way up and let that be okay with yourself. So start small, get to know the good side, the bad side, and what you're really doing as an artist, and grow with it. And he said, don't duel with the fastest gun in the West. So don't don't be a brand new person and then go out and try to somebody that's quicker, faster, and better than you, because you'll die. It's just kind of how it goes. Find a small publisher, begin printing with them, and work your way into the industry and navigate that way. Show that you can really meet those deadlines. You're wanted more once you have been signed or hired with someone. Really meeting that deadline, really crunching and completing that project really creates that reputation. So proving yourself, and from there, someone from the picture, that was the question about confidence. His answer in regards to the lady who said that she was nervous, he said, no, others are nervous too. And if you hear back, really respond, because they want to know more about you. They are interested. So don't let the fear get too big and hold you back. I thought that was really good advice.
Yeah, it was good advice. And also I thought it was good advice. People think you start at Marvel and it's not true. Like, right, Mike? You were like, I don't want an Emmy first day out. You wanted to earn it. You wanted to take a little.
You gotta build your skill set up.
Right.
Start at the bottom.
Work your way up. Get good at things.
Yeah, and then you get the Emmys.
Yeah. Well, there is some truth to the fact that people who go professional too quickly peak, and then they stop improving. And I think part of that is that if you do peak too early.
There's a rabbit.
The dog won't leave. And my wife is trying to pull her, and the poor dog is like, doesn't want to leave.
Put the dog on camera.
I don't want her on camera. I don't know if you heard her whining a minute ago, but
hey, she wants to be on camera.
All right, let's.
The dog wants to eat.
All right, last but certainly not least, let's show what Joe had to say. Joe is our executive editor at Heavy Metal Magazine. And
maybe
Get over here. Get.
Just dabbling in like that's not happening in the background.
Maybe using a treat. Tell Janet to use a treat.
Use a treat.
I have the CBD right here. That's
Go
why
get-
she doesn't want it.
Go get a leash.
You should try me with that one tooth.
His dog has one tooth.
What?
Vicious.
Dog is, how old is this dog? 14, 15 years old.
Just wants to be around you, bud.
Yeah.
Your house
All
is-
right, Maryam, we're gonna try this one more time. So tell us what who's up? No,
Joe.
tell us what Joe Illich had to say. Joe was executive editor at Heavy Metal, and he also worked his way up. So give us the lowdown on Joe and what he had to say.
So yes, Joe worked his way up as well. He did not work at Marvel, so scratch that. He worked at Heavy Metal as an editor, worked at DC, Milestone, First Generation Milestone, first person of color to work there. He also worked in book production. He's a freelance editor, executive editor, and he's launching a new book, a new children's book based off of peaceful conflict and resolution. Some of the advice that he gave was on the power of networking. He said he uses social media to hire. A lot of times he watches the people, see what they're doing, see how they're, really grooving, and they're not too like salesy, and they don't usually always pitch. So that kind of relationship building really creates what, the hiring for him, the hiring synergy. And then, he could see them be themselves, and he's kind of putting it together organically. He said the exception was Stephanie Phillips. She pitched Gambit, and it's Gambit, so it kind of works out really well. For portfolios, he said the best portfolio is a body of existing work. So do a bunch of your own stuff first if you haven't already been, paid and hired. Do your stuff first and really come through. Have clear communication. Make sure that you have a presentation. Your packaging is, really well, nicely laid out, and you show your own individual design or your own individual style, and have a brand, show what you're made of. And that's really important. Someone asked about breaking and using e-newsletters as a way to really showcase your work and send it out. He said that it could and couldn't. It was back and forth with that. It seems like it would be a good business module depending on the subscribers and what you're doing with it. He said, to get noticed, you could just give somebody $100, like do a giveaway for all of that. But making sure that you have a conversation between your characters is also something that he mentioned. So if you're writing a comic, making sure there's a real clear dialogue on your characters, that would also help show you the skill and show the diversity in your writing. And when it came to printing, he also said that he thinks that you should have a printed piece to give out when you're meeting with editors. He said publishing increased during the pandemic. The weight, the density, the objects are valued. The books cover also sells, so make sure you have a really nice cover design. And there's a tangible means when it comes to a print being given or purchased to someone. So he thinks that print would be a better way than digital. And he said, don't be an asshole on social media. I mean, if the power of networking for him has been hiring through social media, you wouldn't want to be an asshole there, would you? And what else did he say? Have a website. That's also something important as well, digitally, so that, people can really find you online. And his final thoughts was to find and build a community, lift each other up, work together. He was also really interested in backing up on the 8-page challenge and having a collaborative comic book with other people. So really working together with others and really having that group of you all sharing out what you're doing as a team in that one cataloged comic book. And from there, he said, buy his Heavy Metal. And there's MPLS Sound is a historical fiction. So to check out and look out for that as well.
So It was a brisk hour, Mike, and give that dog a job. That's true. I should have had the dog run the switcher. She would do better than I do.
The buttons.
Mariam, this was great. Mike, did this put you here? Do you feel like you got a lot out of this?
It's like I was at the convention.
It's like you were there.
I was like I was there.
Right? And I think the key thing is that even if you are there, right, Maryam, you took the notes. It's hard to remember all of the things that we learned at the show. That's why we did record it, and hopefully we'll be able to, if we were lucky, it worked out well, and we will be able to play it back. And of course, you can get all of these resources at the comicbookschool.com website. A link to Maryam's website, which is focused on her marketing and art. I was going to say art tuning, but cartooning and art, right? Art tuning is not really a word, but you did a great job. And on short notice, Maryam, I mean, I gave you like, I don't know, 5 minutes notice, and I was like, hey, you want to take notes? And you were like, what?
Okay.
Yeah,
you just gave me the markers. Here,
take a marker.
She even did it with her left hand.
She did it with her left hand.
I was swollen yesterday. But then at the end, I only had 2 minutes to read all of that. So
that's why we did this tonight, because we ate up a little bit too much time on Q&A. So I just thought, let's give Maryam a few extra minutes. She worked hard. She took notes for a full hour, and I gave her 2 minutes to read them out.
Trying to murder my body.
Well done.
But I did see a lot of meta themes, Maryam. I think among them was show, right? Do a story. And that, whether or not you hand it digitally or in print, it seemed like that was a recurring theme. Did you notice that as well?
Yeah. That was a big thing. Like, make sure you have something, some media. Don't wait for somebody else to come and give you a story. Make your own. And that's really, that speaks volumes, I think, more so to hear a bunch of people who are already in the industry say that. Because there's a lot of people who have doubt that they should do it that way, I think.
Now, Maryam, let's switch it. We want Maryam to be big. So, Maryam, what are your thoughts on community and the importance of community and just networking? What did you get out of that? Because I felt like that was also a recurring theme.
I think with that was a big deal, because the more people know what you're trying to do, the more people will help you get there, and you can work together to really move it. And, share out to each other, get advice from one another, and really work towards a common goal. And I think the community part is a big factor. And networking, it's always going to be a great thing if you're the only person who knows what you're trying to do.
Were you surprised at how small the comics book business was when you saw how many of us had crossed over and worked together at different jobs? Did you realize just how small comics was?
I did not notice or know that it was that small. No, the guy that came to the Creative Connect the night before, he said that he drew for Bart Simpson, for the Simpsons show more so. And he was saying that it's really small. A lot of times they use the same people. And I was just like, really? So when we got to the next panel the next day, it was kind of like, hey, someone said that yesterday.
Right, Mike? Everybody knows everybody. Everybody is somehow connected to Mike Fasolo.
Yes. I'm like Kevin Bacon, except mine's only 1 degree of separation.
1 degree of separation. What's wrong with my collar here, Mike? Did the dog button this shirt for me? Did I iron this with a pork chop? I mean, what's going on? I'm just going to zoom out because it's a terrible looking angle for me. Maryam, where can they find you and learn more about you?
They can find me on Instagram and Twitter, mostly at Maryam's Mark, and you can visit my website at maryamsmark.com.
What a coincidence. I can pull that website up at this very moment because I have the power of the Googles.
You should pull up her QR code.
She actually has a QR code, Mike.
Nice.
Right there in the center. Do you see it?
I do.
You see it? Do you have a QR code on your website, Mike?
Yes. No, I don't have a website.
Yeah, Maryam will.
Why don't you have a website, Mike?
Well, I do, but there's nothing on it. I own it, but there's nothing. There's nothing on it.
Mike has an IMDb page. Mike has an IMDb page and a Wikipedia entry, of which I have neither. But I just think that's really great, Maryam, that you have that QR code. What does that QR code do?
They can scan and book a call if they want to talk about their project and get consultation.
Oh, really? That's neat.
Yeah.
Buddy, you should have done that.
I should. I should for something that's important. I should pull up a QR code. Like if somebody wanted to check out Apocalypse Boulevard. And here's the cover to number 2. Looks pretty good, right? So
how many is it?
What's that?
How many is it? How many?
So 2 of the issues are already printed, and I'm kickstarting so we can print the last 2 and put them in the hands of people just like you two.
Just like us. And all
And
the
don't feel pressured
watchers.
to go there tonight, Mike, and bid on my Kickstarter. Don't feel.
I got the QR code.
Did you? You got the QR code.
You should use Miriam's QR code to call her and ask her how to market all this.
I'm going to. And Marianne, final thought.
You don't have my number.
Number 1, great to see you again after many years. I think I'd only seen you in person one time before at Eternal Con. Thank you so much for putting yourself out there in front of an audience and taking live notes and then coming back on the show to read them out for us. We and I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, you did a great job. Mike, didn't you do a great job?
Great job.
We were a comic book school. Thank you, Mike.
Yay.
Yay.
Thank you.
Maryam, thank you so much. You can go backstage now. Mike has set out a tray of cannoli. So feel free to as many as you. He was there early, and he was with the with the chocolate chips in there, and it's very Italian. So eat as many as you want.
Thank you, Mike. You're great.
Yeah.
Appreciate all your help.
Go ahead, Mike. Say the line. Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
There you go. All right, Maryam. We'll see you backstage in a little bit. That was fun.
That was very fun. Yes, good notes.
Yeah, good notes.
Good stuff. To know.
Yeah. I'm still on TV. Can I throw you a roll of paper towels? All right, Mike, you're going to have to take over the show for a few minutes.
Oh my God. Wow, this is crazy. And he left it on the giant screen too. This is crazy. But I think if anyone is really interested, they should go see the QR code from Miriam's and Buddy and get all their information.
That's why I don't host the show by myself, Mike, because it's really awkward.
Well, it'd be even more awkward if I had to host the show, because that's just terrible.
So a couple cool announcements. Member of our community, Ari Rubin, otherwise known as AA Rubin, is announcing that his Into the Darkness Peering is now available on Amazon, Kindle, and paperback. And basically what it is he took a story that he had written and somebody that he had met through the comic book school creator connections panel. And Marika, I can't pronounce her name. And yeah, congrats, Ari. And now it's available. And so people can check it out. Look for Into That Darkness Peering by A.A. Rubin. And you will not be disappointed. I think I have another, let me show it to you right now, Mike, because we're really excited. We're very proud of our community for continuing to do work and get their stuff out there. Here you go. You can find it here. Into the Darkness Peering. There it is. A.A. Rubin and Marika Bruciano. How would you pronounce that, Mike?
I can't see it. It's too small.
Let's see if we can make it bigger.
But I would pronounce it the same way you did. Bruciano.
Bruciano? Bruciano.
I can't.
But I think A.A. Rubin is easy. Look at this. He's got an A.A. Rubin author page with all of his. Wow, look at him. He wears that hat everywhere he goes. He never took it off. He showers with that hat.
Well, hey, if it fits, you might as well use it.
Yeah. So we actually got to see Ari again, but if you see, you peer into the darkness of midnight and the macabre with these 32 illustrated Gothic horror poems and micro fictions. So people should check that out, definitely, because it's part of the comic book school community. And AA, or as we call him, Ari, is an up-and-coming writer. So thanks, guys. See there? He's wearing the hat again.
Look at it. And he said thanks. That shows he's a gentleman.
Once again, no punctuation, guys. An English major and an English teacher and a parent, but he doesn't use punctuation.
Yeah, he does that all day. He doesn't need to do it at night.
Right. Look at this. When Vince put all kinds of punctuation. Some of it was even right.
There's all stuff in there.
It was Canadian punctuation. So it's a little different than American punctuation. Slightly different with a different, it's nicer. It's just nicer punctuation. I actually have a check this out. You want to see check this out? So
I would like to see you check this
out. So play the check this out music, Mike.
Check this out right now.
Good. All right. So I'm gonna go big on myself. So those of you who remember my book, The Colossal Collection of Action Poses, based off of these two photos. So if you look closely, here is the one model. Let's see if we can, there you go. And here's the other model. And then what the artist did, in this case, Amanda Connor did, was turned into art. And Amanda this weekend surprised me by giving me the original art to the cover. And I now have it. It was a total surprise. She was on the panels and has been on many of the panels, but what she had said was because of the storm in Florida, they had to move all of their stuff, all their original art and collectibles out. So they moved it to a different place. And when they moved it, they found a lot of art that they had forgotten they had.
Very nice. And now you have it. Yeah,
there you go. So Vince, I think he's laughing at our Canadian punctuation. Otherwise, I don't know what else. But that's it, Mike. I mean, a wonderful show. This is part one. We hope that people join us for part two. Will you be back for part two?
Well, clearly. Unless you find somebody better.
I did find a couple people who were better than you.
Okay, well, that's not hard.
Doesn't mean you can be replaced, right? Doesn't mean I want to replace you, but because no one has you. No one's you, Mike.
No one is me.
No one's you. Hold on, and no one's Maryam. Let's see if she's still there. No one's Maryam. Maryam's eating cannolis like they're going out of style back there. She's having coffee and eating cannolis. And how are Mike's cannolis?
They're delicious. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So there you go. We'll just kick her off. Oh wait, hold on. She was mid-sentence. Go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
Just was joking. I said, "How'd you make them?"
Oh yeah, they're all handmade with the cannoli maker.
Good job. Good job.
They're virtual reality ones, right, Mike? You made them in the medicine.
Made them in the cannoli maker.
Everybody's
got one of them, don't they?
Everybody has a cannoli maker. We get them when we're Italian at birth, right, Mike? They're like, one day you'll understand. So that's it for the show, Mike.
Oh, right.
So this is the end of our 19-part episodic review of stretching out one experience into as many shows as possible. But I have already begun a landing page that will detail upcoming episodes. I'm actually booking guests in advance.
What?
I know. That's
not good.
Not the night before.
That's crazy.
I literally asked Maryam last night at around this time. I was like, Maryam, you want to be on the show? She was like, wait, when? And I went, tomorrow night? And she was like, not tomorrow night, right? And I'm like, yeah, tomorrow night. And she still said yes.
Very nice.
Very
nice of you.
Thank you, Maryam.
I'll try.
All right, Mike, you got any final thoughts or can we wrap it up?
You can wrap it up.
All right, I'll get out of here. Guys, it was so great to see so many of you back in person, to meet some of you for the first time, like Christian Stout and Kevin Pay. For the first time in person. I have to say that the video that Vince assembled that we played at the beginning of each one of our panels knocked people's socks off. You can find that video on this YouTube channel. Obviously, I know all of you subscribe. And all kidding aside, Support my Kickstarter. I definitely want to make a successful Kickstarter and meet my goals. And thank you guys for coming out to the panels. If you've taken any videos or photographs and want to share them, we're very interested in seeing it. Ariel shot hundreds of photos. Erin and James and Mike Ponce shot videos. James tapped into the audio board. So I think we'll be having a lot more to show you in the next couple of episodes. So stay tuned for this place. Thank you so much for coming out. And I am so grateful to have seen so many of you. I'll see you next Tuesday.